and welcome to This Old Spouse. This is our new, to us anyway, 1987 Scamp fifth wheel travel trailer. Today I will be installing a Scamp fifth wheel hitch kit on our 96 Toyota Tacoma. I purchased this hitch kit from Scamp, and it consists of two side brackets that I've already drilled holes in, a 52-inch cross member which will have to be cut down to size, bolts, nuts, washers, a 2-inch ball, written instructions with pictures. The first thing to consider is the fact that the ball cannot be more than 60 inches from the corner of the truck bumper. Therefore, I have placed a tiny piece of masking tape on a spot that is 59.5 inches from the corner of the bumper, which will position the ball 3 to 4 inches in front of the rear axle. I've read that having the ball located behind the rear axle causes swaying problems, so I wanted it in front of the rear axle. Then I placed the brackets so that they will accommodate the cross member on which the ball will be mounted, and marked the truck bed with masking tape so that I will know where to replace the brackets after the holes have been drilled. The written instructions didn't state it, so from the pictures I estimated where the holes should be drilled in the brackets, which was approximately 2 1/4 inches from the bottom and 2 1/4 inches from the side on the vertical, and on the horizontal I drilled the holes so they will be in the middle of the ridge on which the bracket sits. 7/16" holes are required, so I purchased a new bit and used a drill press, which made this part of the job very easy. Because the rear of the bracket rests in the dip in the front on the ridge, I've used a spacer to support the rear of the bracket. And now I will place the bracket on the mark I made previously. And we'll use the holes I drilled in the bracket as a template to mark where the holes in the bed and the wheel wells should be. The holes in the truck bed should be drilled with extra caution, making sure not to damage wiring or brake lines which run under the bed. No problem with the two in the well. On one side, some of the wiring was in the path of the drill bit. The other side appears a bit clearer of wires, but caution is still needed. Now that the holes are all drilled, it's time to mount the brackets. Vertical. I made spacers with some sheet metal that I had on hand. That should hold the bracket vertical. The brackets are now mounted. The driver's side was a bit more of a challenge. As you can see, there's several things in the way, unlike the other side, which was a lot easier to reach. And of course the wells were easy to get to, therefore not a problem. Now that the brackets are mounted, it's time to measure and cut the cross member to fit between the brackets. Now I'm marking for my cut, and it's very important to remember to cut equal amounts off of each side so that the ball remains in the center. Now it's time for cutting, but don't forget your eye and ear protection. And these are the pieces cut off, approximately 5 3/4 inch each, off of each side. I cut wooden spacers to use to hold the cross member in place while I mark the holes for drilling. Now I'll mark them. After that, I mark the center of each circle, and we'll use a nail punch to mark a pilot hole. And therefore my bit won't slip when I try to drill the hole. Back to the drill press that I mentioned earlier, which I used to drill the holes in my brackets. Only this time a 9/16 inch bit is needed because the bolts that hold the cross member to the brackets are 1/2 inch. Now that that's done, I will reuse the wooden spacers that I made earlier to line up the holes and slip the bolt and the nut. Tighten it with the ratchet. And the final step of installation being installing the 2-inch ball. Goodbye, thanks for watching.